السلام عليكم. اليوم لعبتنا راح نصلح فيها الأشياء ونغامر مع شخصيتنا في رحلة في المدينة مع لعبة Assemble with Care. أعتقد اللعبة بس راح تاخذ منا 3 حلقات فقط. يلا لننطلق ونصلح أشياء بالمدينة. يلا لننطلق مع الشابتر الأول.
After a year on the road, I thought I'd get tired of traveling. The endless clatter of railways, highways, and everything in between. But as my train pulled into the station at Bellariva, I felt every bit as excited as the first day of my journey.
أوكي. تحكي عن رحلتها هي.
Year. It felt like a lifetime. The places I'd seen, the people I'd met, of course. The forgotten treasures I'd given a new lease of life along the way. I'm a restorer by trade, bringing our most beloved possessions back to life is what I love to do. I'd been traveling for months, working my way from one town to the next, fixing everything from family heirlooms to VCRs. Bellariva was my chance to take a break. Unfortunately, that would have to wait until after I'd unpacked.
ملخص انه هي كانت تسافر من مدينة لمدينة عشان تصلح الاشياء، بس المدينة الاخيرة اللي هي هسه فيها اسمها بلاريفا، وهي بتحكي لك انه المكان راح ترتاح فيه. فيلا ها. اوكي ايش نقدر نسوي؟ نقدر نفتح الشنطة. يلا فك القفل والقفل الثاني. حلو. فتحنا الشنطة. ايش في عندنا بشنطتنا؟ الباسابورت نحطه هون.
Not many blank pages left now.
اوكي ايش عندنا هاد؟ كأنه حلقها
I saw a guitarist wearing these at a show once. Rock and roll chairwoman at your service.
عازف جيتار كان
I
بيلبس
picked up these
نفسها.
sunglasses on my last stop.
هاي نظارات
Hopefully I'm cool
شمسية.
enough to pull them off.
المشط.
The tools of my trade. No hope of
هاي
restoring things
الأدوات
without
العمل
these.
اللي راح نشتغل فيهم احنا. طيب هاي أوعيها.
My favorite overalls. These will never go out of
أوعية
style.
تعاون الشغل هذا. طيب صورة إلها. كاميرا.
Looking forward to taking more close-ups of my fingers with this.
والورا
I'll hand
تبعها.
these out once I'm settled in. Fingers crossed they get me some work. Finally, I'd made it to Bellariva. I'd come for the food festival, taking place in a few days' time. After living off TV dinners and instant ramen for the last few months, I was craving a decent meal. Of course, I'd need to earn enough money to pay for it, so I figured I'd head out the next day and find some work. My parents never wanted me to go. They wanted me to stay in their shop and have a simple, stationary life. I knew there was a world out there, beyond the four walls of our antique store, that I had to be a part of. I daydreamed constantly about the weird and wonderful places each of our antiques came from. I loved figuring out their stories, revealing the memories hidden beneath the screws and wires. My story in Bellariva began with a little girl and a voice she was longing to hear.
هي ما كانت حابة تضلها عايشة مع أهلها بالمحل الصغير تبعهم، فقررت إنها تسافر عشان تكتشف العالم. وهسه راح تبلش أول قصة معها مع فتاة صغيرة. فيلا نشوف شو القصة تاعتها اللي حتكون مع البنت الصغيرة.
It was my first morning in Bellariva and I couldn't wait to leave my hotel and explore. It was a quiet town, its streets and alleyways basking peacefully in the hot morning sun. In the main square, meanwhile, preparations were underway for the festival in a few days' time.
في مهرجان جاي.
As I handed out my flyers, I wondered what the people of Bellariva would need me to fix. So far, everything here seemed perfect.
هي بتدور على إشي
I was
تصلحه.
starting to worry I'd made a mistake when I felt someone tapping me on the back.
Hi, I'm Izzy. Do you know how to fix things?
خبطت بشخص فكانت
It was a
تسألها
little
بتقدر تصلح
girl,
هذا الإشي؟
maybe 7 years old, who must have gotten hold of one of my flyers. She rummaged around in her backpack until she hauled out a battered red cassette deck.
My tape is broken and I can't make it work anymore. I
Okay.
tried to fix it myself, but there's this metal thing in the way. Can you try?
بدنا نصلح لها هسه المسجل تبعها، هذا هو خربان فاحنا لازم نصلحه. طيب نلفه من هون.
Why did you do that?
سحبناه تمام. تسألنا ليش نعمل هيك؟ لا تسألين، انا نفسي بعرف. طيب نرجع هذا هون، نحط هاد. ايش نقدر نعمل فيه؟ نفتح نجرب نحط يعني هسه ولا ايش؟ تشغيل.
Still not working.
لسه
Something else must be wrong.
اوكي بقدر الف الشغلات. حلو. طيب ها لف. لازم انا الف اوكي حلو. نفتح هاي.
Aha! Those batteries look like they
Huh?
need replacing.
بدنا
Luckily,
نغير
I have some
البطاريات.
spares.
فنحط بطارية جديدة هون وبطارية جديدة هون ويلا نسكر. لا بدنا القطعة اول هاي نحطها هون ويلا رجع سكر. حلو. نعمل التدوير نجرب هسه. الله شغلنا الهيا. اشتغل. هيك صلحنا الهيا.
Even though we both know that we must say goodnight.
When it finished, Izzy picked up the tape deck and tucked it carefully into her backpack.
خايفة عليها صارت بعد ما صلحنا
Thanks,
الهيا.
Maria. You're the best person at fixing things ever.
No problem. Who was that singing? They're very good.
It's my mum. She's not here anymore.
Izzy trailed off.
امها هاي
It
اللي
was the
كانت
kind
تغني
of
بس ميتة.
silence a cassette tape would never be enough to fill. When Izzy's friends called for her, she dug deep into her pockets, looking for something to pay me with. Eventually, she produced a grand total of a stick of gum, 3 mismatched buttons, and a yo-yo.
البنت المسكينة ما حاش اشي تدفعه فاعطتها علكة وشغلات زي هدول.
I usually preferred a check, but Izzy looked so serious, I wrote out a full receipt. She seemed like a happy kid, but beneath it all, part of her life had been shattered. A part I wouldn't be able to fix.
نايس. بتحكي انه بينت سعيدة بس من جواتها هي حزينة عشان اكيد امها لانه ميتة، وهي بتحكي انه ما بتقدر تصلح الاشي اللي بقلبها يعني لانه هي شغلتها تصلح الاشياء بس عشان هي زعلانة ما بتقدر تصلح اللي بقلبها.
My first repair complete, I spent the rest of the day doing small jobs in and around the square. I was exhausted when I got back to my hotel and found a message asking me to make one more visit.
اوكي جاها كمان
The
شغل.
address led me to a quaint little house, a stone's throw from the beach. Bathed in the evening light, it looked beautiful, in spite of its flaking paintwork and chipped tiles. The front door was opened by a harried-looking man, still dressed from a long day at the office.
Are you Maria? My name's Joseph. I'm Isabel's father.
اوكي.
I'm so sorry she bothered you this morning. Please, come in. I'd like to settle up properly.
On the mantelpiece, I saw the remains of a broken statue. Without thinking, I picked up a fragment.
في تمثال مكسور، شكله هذا اللي راح نصلحه.
My father's statue. What's left of it, at least. Yet another way I'd have disappointed him.
هذا تمثال لأبوه وإحنا شكله راح نصلحه
It
هسه.
survived 100 years in this family. But 5 minutes with Isabel and... Do you think you can salvage it?
هذا التمثال عمره 100 سنة بس بنته اجت كسرته. اوكي. طيب كيف راح نصلحه؟ نحط
Will you
هذا.
be able to see the glue afterwards? I don't want people seeing the cracks.
طيب نحط له. لا هو المفروض هاي بيت صح؟ اوكي.
Is this glue really strong enough to hold everything together?
ما عليك بصلح اي شيء. فنعمل له زي هيك نلفه نحط كمان هون. يلا هيك. بس حاول ما طلعش برا عشان ما يخربش شكله. فيلا نحط الايد الثانية. لا رجع لي هاي، انا بدي هاد. ايش بقدر احط؟ الرجل. لا انا بدي الايد هاي. لو في قطعة قبل في قطعة قبل الايد، عندنا هاي القطعة. حلو. طيب نحطه، نعمل تدوير مرة ثانية. هسا على الايد، بدنا على الايد نحط. يلا ها. لا هون ايوه. يا سلام. ركب الايد، نعمل له تدوير، نجيبه زي هيك. حلو. نحط هون تحت، وفي للقاعدة، بس خلي القاعدة اقول لك. يلا عب القاعدة برضو. حلو. يا سلام، والله شغلتها لطيفة. طيب لا بدي هاد هيك. يلا ركبنا الرجل.
Sometimes I think my daughter should come with a warning label.
هيك دعوة حلام التحذير لبنته عشان ما تخرب الشغلات. اوكي رجعناه وكالة.
Thank you, Maria. It looks as perfect as it ever did. My father wanted me to make something of myself. He didn't have time for anything less.
As Joseph put the statue back on the shelf, it nudged against the family portrait stood proudly next to it. So he was Bellariva's mayor. And that was Izzy's mom. They must both miss her so much.
Sorry, I'm a little tired. I've been working late getting things sorted for the festival. There's only a few days to go. Looks like I'll be working late.
هو العمدة وبحاول عشان يظبط المهرجان.
When I told my parents I wanted to leave, they always found an excuse to be busy, to avoid talking about it. I guess keeping themselves occupied was their way of pretending it wasn't happening.
أهلها كانوا يعني تقريبا
Joseph's work
بيتجاهلوها.
must have been taking up so much of his time. But maybe that was what he wanted. I just hoped he was finding enough time for Izzy too.
وهسا عنا chapter 4.
My second day in Bellariva dawned bright and clear. Another beautiful sunny morning.
اليوم الثاني عندها في المدينة.
Walking into town, I passed cafes overflowing with customers cradling their morning coffees. I stopped, breathing in the smell of roasted coffee beans and freshly baked pastries.
شمت ريحة القهوة
I was
والمحلات.
about to go inside when the owner of Carmen's, the cafe next door,
فاتت
stopped
على
me.
واحد من الكافيات. وهاي كارمن اللي هي صاحبة المحل.
I have a job for you.
بدها شغل إلنا يعني.
Her
جابت لنا
place
شغل.
was petite, tucked between its competitors as if hoping they wouldn't notice. Judging by the empty tables inside, though, her potential customers hadn't noticed it either.
بتحكي إنه محلها صغير كثير.
It's a bit slow today, but we're just getting started. I'm sure it'll pick up soon.
As Carmen chatted, she walked over to the counter and returned with an old rotary phone.
جابت لنا تليفون وشكرا راح نصلح تليفونها.
At least I've got plenty of time to practice my recipe for the festival. It's a new special I've been working on. I was hoping to call my sister for some seasoning tips, but it won't connect. Can you see if you can figure out what's wrong?
كنا نصلح التليفون عشان تقدر تحكي مع أختها. إيش نقدر أول إشي نعمله؟ قاعد باك. أنا بديش هيك. بقدر أحطها لي هون.
You can fix it, can't you? I can't afford to replace it.
ما عليك، كل إشي بتصلح عنا إحنا عنا الوضع كله تمام. أوكي أول إشي حطه هيك. فيلا نفك البراغي أول إشي.
Obviously, we'd normally be much busier than this.
حلو. فكينا أول واحد، كان الثاني، ويلا الثالث. يا سلام. ويلا الرابع. حلو. فك هاي. طيب حط القطعة هون. أعطيني هاي. حطها. نقدر نفصل هون كمان إشي. حلو. وفك هاي. عندنا هاي خربانة، بس كيف بدنا نفصلها أول؟ اوكي هيك فصلناها ونحملها ونحطها هون. نجيب هاي الجديدة. حلو. بس بدنا أسلاك. إيش هاي والله أنا. المهم نجيب سلك جديد نربطه هون. حلو. هيك صار نقدر يحكي هسه. I think هيك يعني. اوكي في هون اشي مكسور، فإن هاي قطعة مكسورة، فخلنا نبدلها كمان. نجيبه زي هيك ونفصلها. يلا خلاص هاي المكسورة على الكب. وهاي القطعة الجديدة. حلو. هسا نجيب نركب. فيلا ها. لازم نضلني كابس. اوكي حلو. ونركب هاي القطعة ويلا نحطها. ناخذ لنا كاسة قهوة. انا بمزح طلع طلع هاي البريك. اوكي لا انا فكرت انه تهبل قاعد. اوكي ما علينا. دي علينا بديش والله ما بدي اكبس. خلاص انا اسف. طيب نرجع نحط هاي هون. نحط الغطاي هسه ونلفها زي هيك ونركب. يلا حط هاي. يا سلام. حط هاي. الله علينا. يلا كمان واحدة. ضايلة آخر واحدة. يلا ها.
These connections aren't quite right. I should check the wiring.
نتحقق من سلك الواير. طيب اللي هو هذا اللي هون. فخلاص نحط نركب تليفون نجرب. كيفيش ناقص. لو يكون كان لازم اخذ هذا. اوكي غلطة مني. كان لازم اخذت هذا كمان.
Looks like some of these wires aren't connecting correctly.
اوكي غلطة مني. فانا شو راح اسوي؟ راح ارجع افتحه واركب هاي القطعة. يلا ها. حق علي. خلصته. حلو تمام.
When I handed the phone back to Carmen, she seemed almost reluctant to take it from me.
كانت خايفة تاخذه
So
منا
it's
ليش؟
all working now, is it? I don't have to leave it to dry or let it cool down?
Nope, it's ready to go. It'll be ringing off the hook in no time.
بصلي
That's if
خايف
I can pay my
تستعمله.
phone bill anyway. And the rent and the suppliers. Anyway, take a seat and I'll be right with you. Your coffee's on the house.
I sat at one of the empty
راح
tables,
تجرب
while
التليفون.
at the counter, Carmen had started dialing the phone.
بتحكي مع أختها.
How's my favourite sister doing today?
As she talked, Carmen became more and more tense. This didn't seem like a call for some cooking advice.
صارت كارمن عصبية وهي بتحكي
I know I
بالتليفون.
still owe you from last time, but I can't afford to take part in the festival if I don't pay.
I could almost feel the eye roll at the other end of the line.
You don't need to be here though. Can't you just put the check in the post?
When the call ended, Carmen brought me my coffee, her hands trembling.
Sorry about that. My sister's decided to fly in for a visit. Oh God, I have to get ready. Actually, I might have another job for you. Can you come by tomorrow?
راح تجيب لنا كمان شغل تاني بكرة. هذا
The
الشابتر
next
الخامس
day,
راح نكون
I
آخر
promised
شابتر
Carmen I'd return to
الحلقة
help her
هاي.
get the cafe ready for her sister's arrival.
اوكي راح نرجع لكارمن
I was
كمان مرة
about to
عشان
set
نشوف كان
out when I
بدها.
received an unexpected call from my hotel's reception desk. Apparently, another guest had asked for me by name.
في شخص كان يدور عليها بالفندق كمان.
Curious, I took the creaking elevator up to the top floor and made my way to the room number they'd given. I knocked.
Are you here about the camera? It's about time.
اوكي.
The woman in front of me was immaculate. Not a hair out of place or a crease to be seen.
My sister tells me you know how to fix things. I'd usually go to an expert, of course, but in this town...
So this was Carmen's sister?
طلعت هاي أخت
The two of
كارمن.
them couldn't have been more different.
ما كنا فعليا ما كنا نتوقع انه هيك شكلها حيكون.
Inside her room, I saw a beautiful reflex camera. Any professional photographer's dream.
ده كاميرا شكل الكاميرا تاعتها خربانة واحنا لازم نصلحها.
I can't see anything through it at all. I assume you can figure out what's wrong.
العدسة تاعتها خربانة تاعت الكاميرا فاحنا راح نحاول نصلحها. اوكي هاي كيف الكاميرا
You
بتشتغل.
need the manual.
انت تخوت علي انه هل بحتاجها. طيب ما علينا نمسك الكاميرا. يلا نفكها. نفك البراغي كالعادة اول اشي بنبلش فيه فك البراغي. هاي فيها كثير براغي. طيب فكينا القطعة اللي هون. حطها. فك الجناب.
I don't suppose you've fixed anything this valuable before.
بفكر الكاميرا هاي اغلى اشي عندها. طيب هاي القطعة المكسورة فاحنا لازم نستبدلها، فنشيلها نحط هاي.
If I use the screwdriver,
بس
I could
احنا لازم
adjust the angle of the mirror.
ايوه نظبط الانجل تبعها. استنى هاي كثير صعبة شوي. اعتقد هيك حلو. ايش هالقطعة؟ في قطعة تانية عندنا هون. طيب هسه نسكر هاي. هسه شوف شو مبدأ
Perfect. Now the viewfinder should be working.
اوكي ايش في هاي؟ بقدر اشيل هاي. حلو. ايش هاي؟ هاي تاعت الفيلم. اوكي لا سيبنا منها، ما بتلزمنا. ما بتلزمنا لا خلاص. رجعها هون. رجع هاي. بقدر احطها هون. اوكي هاي ركبناها. حلو. سكر هاي ونلف. وين بدنا نحط براغي كمان؟ في هون يلا ها. نركب هاي القطعة الأخيرة نحط فيها البراغي. أعتقد هيك شغلنا سليم. حلو ركبناها صح.
I felt a pang of envy as I handed the camera to Helena. I put my disposable to shame.
I picked it up on my first trip to Paris. It's a 1958 limited edition, the first of its kind. It cost me 3 months' salary.
الكاميرا انها غالية وكانت مخطيطة إلى باريس وكان
I
شريتها
had no
أول ما
idea
طلعت هاي
what
الكاميرا.
3 months' salary meant to Helena, but I was pretty sure it was more than I could afford.
تكلفتها
It
كثير
was
غالية
strange,
للكاميرا.
really, that we were even staying in the same hotel. I'd picked this place because it was cheap and cheerful, but surely she could afford somewhere better.
تحكي إنه هي بتقدر تدفع نفقة
She took some test shots,
فندق أحسن من
fiddling with
الفندق
the
اللي هم
camera
عايشين فيه
settings
هسه.
until she was absolutely satisfied.
This work is immaculate. At least there's one person in this town who knows what they're doing. Sending you to me might be the first thing Carmen's actually gotten right.
I wondered why Helena had bothered coming if she thought so little of her sister.
I hear nothing from her for weeks, and then when she finally does call me, all she wants is money. If she thinks I'm lending her another penny, she'll have to convince me it's not a total waste of time.
That didn't sound good. If Hurricane Helena was about to hit, I hoped Carmen was ready.
يعني هي متضايقة من أختها عشان أول اتصال بينهم كان بس عشان كان بدها مصاري منها. طيب راح نوقف لحديت هون. احنا يعني هيك ختمنا 5 شباتر، وهي اصلا اللعبة زي ما حكيت لكم كلها على بعضها تقريبا 14 شابتر، يعني راح نختمها ب3 حلقات، كل حلقة 5 شابتر. شكرا لكم للمشاهدة، بتمنى تكونوا استمتعتوا معي بهاي الحلقة. بشوفكم بالحلقات الجاي. سلام.